Welcome back to part 2 of my Love You wall hanging. I like to have the little brush strokes in there too, so it looks like it's kind of shabby chic in a way. So I think a couple coats will do it. I'm not really worrying about those words in the middle, just letting the paint just kind of go in, and I'll let this dry and then I'll add another coat until it's completely white. Okay, so I've decided it needs a little bit more color down here, so I've chosen this washi tape, and this is by We Are Memory Keepers. This one's Arctic, I believe that's the name of it, and it's kind of like a cool watercolor look to it, so I'll kind of show you when I pull this out. It kind of fades in and out, but it matches the color of my O really nicely, so I'm going to go ahead and just set this down. Hopefully I'm straight. Like I said before, I don't do things straight very well. But I'm just going to go ahead and lay that down. And I also want to add some of the Tim Holtz ruler washi too. And just kind of like a measurable love, because this is going to just say love you. But what I want to do and show you, when you're using washi tape on a project like this, you do want to seal this up with your gel medium. And I'm going to leave those hanging off the sides. When I'm done, I'll go ahead and use my emery board again. Let me tear this one just a little bit more, just so it has a more of a tear edge to it. Oh, and I did clean up the bottom of my where I did that paper, the pattern polka dot paper. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I can also add a little bit more to the top. I think it does need some color up here as well. So I might just add a couple strips up here and then tear that off. So the other one that comes with it has a little bit of a design. I don't know if you can see that design. That's pretty cool actually. Maybe I should use that at the top. So you have time to play with your washi, pull it off, put it on, whatever you like. But I'll just put a little bit there. That's a really cool washi. Oops. Press that in really good. And again, I'm going to do some of the ruler stuff up here. And that'll just kind of finish off that top. Just a little bit, gives it a little bit of dimension. Okay, and because I'm so bad, I am going to use my T-square and kind of see if I'm lined up at all. Not too bad. Not too bad, actually. I don't know how that happened. This bottom one is a little bit off, though. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. So I'm happy with it. It's homemade, so it's good. Okay, so I have my brush, I have my gel medium, and I'm just going to go ahead and seal up that washi tape a little bit. And this will help it from peeling up, especially if you have like a home project that you're going to have hanging or something. You don't want tape peeling up or anything. Okay, so that is really starting to come around. Let me peel that up. So this is how that's looking. Kind of fun. And remember, this is still metal, so I could do magnets or whatever when I'm all done. And I could certainly do those with paper or whatever. So it's starting to look really cute. Okay, I've decided I'm not real happy with the color of my paste here. So I have a little bit of gesso. And I'm just going to go back in with some white gesso on my cut and dry foam, and I'm just going to kind of soften that up a bit. My flowers are a little bit lighter. So here I'm just going to try to go around that little U there that's on my project and see if I can just kind of go around a little bit. I'm going to be outlining my letters with a pen or a marker when I'm done. But let's just see how that looks. That gives me a lot lighter look, and I think it'll match my flowers a little bit better. So just a little bit of gesso, and just kind of sponge that on. Gonna go in, see if I have enough here to get my other ones going on. So easy to use your stencils in a lot of different ways. Fixing mistakes is one of them. Yeah, so I like that color better. You can kind of see the difference between the two. And they're not all the same either. This one's still a little bit darker. So it's really easy. Gesso's fantastic to go back in. And so here I'm just going to go ahead and line this up again and then gesso over. I do expect the Distress ink possibly to come back up a little bit more through the gesso. Sometimes that happens, but I do have my sealer on there, my gel medium over the top, so I'm not sure how much color is going to be pulled back up. But actually, I'm kind of liking the little white polka dots, so I might just kind of keep adding a few more, like maybe up in here. This is how things get going. You just kind of keep working and playing. It gives me a little bit more color and definition up in this area, even though white is not really a color. Let's see how that looks. Oh, super. All right, looking super cute. This is about dry now, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and then I'll go ahead and use my emery board to file that down. Okay, I have finished outlining all my letters, and they look fabulous. And so next I'm going to start adding my pieces and parts here. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my gel medium once again, and I'll just add a generous amount to the back of this art part piece. And go ahead and set that down in place. And then I want to press that down pretty good. My crackle paint came out really nice. I was going to actually add some ink in between, but I don't think I need to. It looks really great the way it crackled. So let me pull this up and you can see some of the crackling. So I'm really liking how this turned out. I think it'll be really fun to put with my arrangement on my wall. And again, I'm just going to use this gel medium. It's a great glue, especially for uneven areas, such as this whole thing is kind of uneven, and especially that flower. I'm going to go ahead and lay that kind of up a little bit so maybe some of this can grab the art part. Helmar would also work really good. Helmar is a really nice quick drying glue, and it's great for all your projects, but since I have all this out, I'm just going to go ahead and use this glue. So a little generous amount on the back of that tag. It's going to kind of sit at an angle. Get that right angle going on. I love working with multimedia because you do have time to play, and yeah, that flower's starting to stick pretty good. You have time to play and arrange things as you work. So this flower, a little bit more glue on that. And I'm going to kind of tuck this into this other one so that I can see that love on that tag. And then I'm going to give these a chance to dry, just kind of pressing down a little bit. But this is starting to come out really nice. Okay, I did decide to bring my Helmar glue out. This is the Quick Dry 450, and this is for this little metal piece, which is the jelly bean. I think I already told you about that. And I'm going to put just some glue in a couple spots to tack this down. It's a little bit harder to glue down than the rest of my pieces, just because it's so thin, but I want to tack it down really good. So the Helmar is really good for that. It's kind of a rubbery type glue when it's all said and done, so it stays very flexible. But I'm going to give this a chance to dry on the metal piece first before I put it down. I'm sure I'm going to have to do some cleanup of where that extra glue is. It's kind of like really thick rubber cement if you were to describe it. But I'm going to go ahead and set this down now, and then I'll do some cleanup, and to clean it up I'll just use one of my pokey tool or something and kind of clean up around it. But I'm going to have to really set my fingers down to keep that in place. And I'm going to do that, and I will be back in a few minutes after this is dry. One of my finishing details I want to add is some micro beads, and these are silver, and I thought it would go nicely with the little silver love here. And that's all really nice and dry, and actually I don't have to clean it up too badly, but it's really nice in place. And these flowers are all really secure in place. So everything's looking good. I have a small brush, and I'm just going to be adding just a little bit of this, my matte medium. This is my soft matte gel, and I'm just going to be kind of randomly adding some of these silver beads. So I'm just kind of just using my brush and just kind of tapping on the gel. And so I'll be adding in my beads in a second. And I'm working on a paper towel because I think that when I go to open up my beads, they're gonna scatter. If I was working on a hard piece of paper, I have a feeling they'll just go all over the place. So paper towel I think might be a little bit safer route for me. And like I said, I'm just kind of adding this in randomly. We'll see how this looks here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle these out. Once you open it up, I have a feeling, ooh, yep, here they come. So it's kind of like those little candies that you put on your cakes and stuff, but these are silver. So I'm just going to go ahead and just let these hit that gel medium. I'll probably try to tap this around a little bit. These are super tiny, super fine, and they're definitely sticking to that gel medium. That's kind of pretty. Let's see if I can get some up here. So this should just give me a little bit of sparkle. So you can kind of see, like in this area here where they just look too clumped together, I'm just going to go ahead and just wipe some away and make them spread out just a little bit more. So they're really easy to work with. Very nice. Let me get a little bit more on this outer edge there. Alrighty. And I see I have a few in areas that I don't want them. So before I finish up, I'm going to go ahead and clean that off with another brush. But this is how that's looking. And what I mean by clean that off with another brush, let me just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to grab a dry brush here and just go ahead and remove these in some of the areas that they don't really need to be. They're just kind of sticking in the little crevices where they don't really need to be. Okay, this is turning out really super pretty. I really like it, that it has texture, it has glitter, it has color, and it's flat, and it has my message to it. And as my very final touch, I'm going to add a little white bow here that I've used from my twine, and I've just wrapped kind of a double bow, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my Helmar, and I'm just going to place this right in between these flowers, and I'll hold that in place for a second and let that dry. So here's a look at my finished project. I really do like how it turned out. I love all the texture and the colors and mix of patterns. The silver beads really added a fine touch to this as well. These flowers are super great for your projects, and I love that they also have glitter on it. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.